Managing employees in Schedule 1 can be kind of confusing, and we're finally off on the last employee that you can get, which is a packer. Over here we have Laura. We need to set Laura up. We need to set up Laura's routes, and we need to set up what stations Laura is going to do. The packer does two things that are important, and that is, one, they can move products to another shelf, or a shelf to an actual station, especially when there are stations that are not able to grab from certain shelves. Like that one over there, like the mixing stations, right? If we come over to here, it's like they can only go to a destination, and they cannot go and grab anything from any shelf, even if you had a chemist assigned to it. So packers' jobs is to move items into those, or move them into whatever else that you want to move them into. First things first, we got to go ahead and select our handler, and we have to assign them to their bed. One of the great things about the barn that I finally unlocked, which is fantastic, is that you can just throw all your beds up here. And you could just have a bunch of employee beds up here that are not in the way, and it's fantastic. And there's just so much room. It doesn't take up your main floor. So over here we have a station of many things, and each of these stations have things that is connected to it. So they have the main supply, and then each individual mixing ingredient is here. And you could set up a chemist normally to run all of these machines, and you will need one if you want to automate it. But even if you had a chemist, they would not be able to make all the product on their own unless you manually moved over the product, and that's where the packer comes in. The packer has a mechanic called routes, and routes are something that you're able to set up and tell them, hey, go here and take the item that's in that shelf and bring it to a new spot. So we need to make multiple routes for them. I believe they can have up to 5 routes, if I'm remembering off the top of my head correctly. And you can just keep adding new. Yeah, you can have up to 5 routes. So if you have a semi-complicated order that's just of 4 or 5 items, they're perfect for that. If you have more than 5 items, it's going to take another packer. So for example, this we have a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 item order, or 5 mixing things in here. So technically we would need 2 packers for this. I could set up the packer to be able to deliver all the mixing ingredients into here, but he would not be able to add the original ingredient, which we could do ourselves, or we could just hire another packer to do that exact thing. I'm going to set up all the routes now, so it's fairly simple. Let's go ahead and go back to him and select and manage him with our clipboard. And then let's set up our first route. So we want to go from. From is going to be where you are grabbing the original item from. The first item on our thing is going to be motor oil. We grab that. We say, yo, take it from that large storage rack to here. And then we just rinse and repeat that once again. It's like on the next step. You go, hey, take this kook and put it into here, and then take this motor oil and put it into here, and then take this addy and then put it into here. Whoops, that is actually the wrong one, so we're going to reassign that to here. And then the very last one, go ahead, oops, he's already working on it, but I accidentally unselected him. Grab from this large storage rack and put it onto here. Boom, we have it all nice and set up. So one of the very last things you can do that doesn't require a packer is that you could set up this destination of the very last one to feed directly into your packing station. And then, of course, we also have to assign him to a station, which we will assign him to that station. And then from this station, we will select a destination through a clipboard and have him deliver it here. Now, he's going to go run off and hide again because now he doesn't have any work to do, and we don't have a chemist currently set up here to fully automate that. But automation is something that I will go into another video. So once we make that one and it finishes, we can have these things get feeding into each other with destinations. And once the chemist is working on it and he finishes, he'll put it into the next one until it eventually arrives here and gets put into this station. And then once there's actually items in this station and it's full of jars or baggies or whatever, he'll go ahead and pack it and then store it here. So if you wanted to focus on like an entirely singular item, or just like 2 small or 3 strains, like you could set up these systems to be able to crank out your stuff and have it fully finished and done at the end if you don't want to go and do each individual step through the mixing machine. Obviously, you could still continue to do this if it's something that you really enjoy. Actually, hold on. Hold up. Hold up a second. Hold up a second. It looks like we messed up a route here, actually. I'm looking at it, and I think on this third one, yeah. On this third one, we wanted to be from that large storage rack into here. There we go. So he should come back in here and move that motor oil. We made a slight miscalculation. Wait, why are you not moving?
Come on. Think. Brain blast!
Okay, well, I don't know if this is a bug, but if you're having problems that your guy is glitching out and he's not actually grabbing the correct items and putting it, I had this storage access to also be motor oil, but for some reason, they would not take the motor oil from this one and put it in this one. The motor oil had to be from the same cabinet that already had motor oil assigned to it. So I'm guessing that because it was the same item, there was some kind of bug going on there. So if you do experience that bug, just go when you're using the same items on multiple sequences when you're making your product, just go ahead and shove it onto a single cabinet if it's not working. I'm not 100% sure why that didn't work here, but it is what it is. Anyways, I hope this video helped you guys out and you are able to start working on getting your packers set up and working good. The next video we make is going to be fully automating this. So I'm going to be bringing in chemists to show how that's done, to show them packing, and to getting the final product. We'll also can set it up and have like botanists over here to grow stuff if you don't want to have a chemist do it. The chemists are still going to be needed to do mixing, but you can do it with other product strains as well. But anyways, I will see you guys later. I hope this video helped you out. Bye.